Today, we are recognizing a Baldwin County woman who always puts others first and has, in a sense, performed medical miracles, helping kids achieve things doctors said they wouldn't, even those who can't afford to pay for treatment, all while fighting cancer herself. She does it at the Buckaroo Barn in Bay Minette, and it's described as a magical place. After spending only minutes here, I could feel the magic too. There's a sense of peacefulness as soon as you hit the long country drive leading up to the barn, where donkeys, dogs, cats, and horses are waiting to greet you, along with the sweet sound of children laughing, children healing. And the woman behind it all is described as nothing short of remarkable.
All right, let's go, Braxton.
Helping children achieve what they never imagined they could, and in some cases what doctors said they never would, is what drives Christy Chastain.
She's just the kind of person you want to be like.
Christy is amazing. She's just a godsend.
Christy practices hippotherapy, a form of physical therapy that uses horses to aid in the power of healing.
They get a special bond with the horse. Just the movement of the horse and all the developmental positions that we put them in is a catalyst for them getting stronger. They just get stronger faster because they're not just maintaining that position and that stability on a still surface. They're on a moving therapeutic surface, the back of the horse. So it's just an amazing tool. Be strong.
Over the past 17 years, Christy and her team have helped hundreds of children and some adults at the Buckaroo Barn, like Nate, diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
Nate really responds to her, and it's great to find a physical therapist that can get the most out of your kid, because trying to get a 3 or 4 year old to do what they're supposed to do and when it's hard and when it's scary, it's hard.
And Ellie, who travels 2.5 hours to work with Christy.
The progress that I see Ellie has made and the encouragement from Christy, just seeing her and her life and her hope that she has for all of the patients that she works with here.
Children never expected to walk are walking, thanks to the patience and drive of Christy and her team.
The parents have been told by doctors that their child will never walk, never talk. They might have told them that the child would be a vegetable, basically, like no function whatsoever. And then they come out and Christy just pours into them everything. She gives them her strength, her intelligence. It's always magical when you get to see a kid take their first steps.
Christy never turns away a child in need. If their family can't afford to pay for therapy, it's taken care of through the Buckaroo Foundation.
There has become a big gap in what insurance pays. It's just expensive, and so just wanted to take the financial burden off of those families so that they could get the kids the therapy that they needed to live their best life.
Christy never stopped working with kids, even in the face of her own cancer diagnosis in 2017.
I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and there's a time for everything in life, and there's a time for mourning and there's a time for dancing. And I was like, dadgummit, it is not mourning yet. We are going to dance.
And dance she did, fighting breast cancer for a year until she beat it. But it came back in 2020 with a vengeance.
Spread to my lungs, my lymph nodes, my spine, and eventually my brain.
You would never know what Christy's going through.
Yes! Way to go, buddy!
Watching her with the kids and the horses, performing miracles.
You can't be around Christy without being raised up to be a better person. Facing a cancer diagnosis one time was hard enough, and she still endured and came out here for the kids and worked through all of her treatments, and then to have a second diagnosis and work through that as well.
She's there for everybody, just everybody. It doesn't matter what situation, how they got here, the diagnosis, how medically fragile a kid is. She's just up there on that horse smiling.
Christy is truly a remarkable lady.
I try to be that because I know that if people believe in themselves, they will live their best life, and they can achieve great things.
Christy is truly one of the strongest, most positive and driven people I've had the pleasure of spending time with. She is a mother of 3, but considers all of the children she helps her children. The kids in her care continue hippotherapy until they reach their goal. As much as Christy inspires them, she says they inspire her to stay strong, to push through obstacles, and in her words, to get on that horse and ride.